Welcome back to the second episode of Out Loud. Now I decided I changed my mind. I put the podcast on YouTube. You can finally see my beautiful face as I am talking to you guys, which is what everybody commented on. Kidding, not one person did. And to all of you who said I wouldn't keep it up, honestly valid. You're really valid. But I figured, you know what? Our YouTube is already pretty, dead. So I was like, you know what? Might as well pop out at least with a weekly podcast episode. And if I'm already going through the trouble of recording it, then baby, let's just put a face to the name. So that is exactly what I am doing because I want to. And trust, I'm still working on the YouTube channel. Editing is so hard, but I don't let Danny touch any of it. So it truly is just me. And also I have control issues. So it's not like it's just me because Danny won't help. I just don't trust anybody else besides me. Yeah, I got issues, but we're not going to talk about those today. Instead, we are going to talk about all of your submissions. I got 18 submissions, y'all. And I mean, I still have the ones from the queer advice segment on my TikTok, which has over 1,000, but maybe I'm prioritizing you guys first who are listening, who went through with the link, who submitted. Genuinely, thank you so much for your support. And genuinely, I'm going to try to get to each one. I mean, I can't make any promises, but you know what? I'm going to try, and you guys get first priority. And I just go with whatever I think I can give the best advice on. I mean, I've had a lot of breakup submissions, and I'm really sad about that because I've never gone through one. I mean, good luck though. Like, better you than me. But maybe I'm still going to try to answer those the best I can because I guess I can just put myself in a mode of cosplaying that Danny did break up with me. But although I've never gone through a breakup, I've liked people and they haven't liked me back. So, I mean, if that counts. But I feel like I can give a little bit of my 2 cents on that. So I probably will address that. And also it's a huge part of the queer community is getting, well, not just the queer community, any community, but typically WLW, it's known like your first heartbreak is going to be pretty horrible. But I think that goes for everybody. You know what? We're just going to get right into it. I'm about to say something that I low-key shouldn't. First off, my girlfriend, my girlfriend cheated on me with her ex-boyfriend. Wow, you didn't think it could get worse, and it did. She swears up and down she regrets it and that she was just heavily intoxicated. But I can't get past it. Worst part is he broke up with her and then we started dating 4 months later. Any advice? I mean, let's ask the audience. I would break up with her very, very fast. I mean, 4 months after a breakup, it feels like you're trying to just not really go through the motions of a true breakup. You're kind of just trying to numb it, or it kind of feels like you might be a little bit of a substitute. Nobody deserves to feel like they're just like waiting on the bench and the second their star player gets injured, then you're put in the game. Danny hates my analogies. Anyway, but genuinely, like, I think that was a good one. You do not want to be somebody's substitute. And if you guys got together 4 months later, and that's supposed to be like the honeymoon phase, it's like the first few months of being together. And if she already is cheating on you with her ex-boyfriend, and he literally broke her heart, and she still cheated with him against you. So honestly, I really feel like you should break up with her. She is obviously not ready for a relationship, and maybe this will like kind of force her to like really go through the heartbreak of her initial breakup and work through the motions and truly do some self-reflection. And maybe she could do that in 4 months. But I know that if I were to go through a breakup, I would be, in the trenches for a few months. So I feel like if she already is capable of cheating, then that kind of shows that she was never truly over him in the first place. And also, you don't deserve that. Like, you do not deserve to be with someone who has the capacity to look at somebody else who they once had and still feels that draw and attraction. Of course, like, maybe it'll always kind of be there considering you did date and they did love each other at one point. But also, when you're with someone new and that person broke up with your ass, then I think it should be, I don't think you should still like have the capacity when at the first instance you cheat. I don't know if that was the first instance actually, but if it was, you need to leave. And although it's hard and I don't like being alone, but sometimes that's necessary, and it also will help you with your growth so much. It'll show you what you do want and what you don't. And this person was a really good life lesson. So that's how I would look at it. I mean, if you have to look at it some way, not like, oh, I'm the worst, like everybody hates me. Like, don't be a pick me about it. Don't be a pick me about it. Like, literally just pick yourself up, do the work necessary. So for your next girlfriend, you can make that your wife. You can make her your wife, unless she's the exact same. But I'm not manifesting that for you. The next one is going to be your wife. So put in the work now to separate yourself from that girl and say, you know what? It was fun while it lasted. You cheated. I can't get over that. And also, nobody should expect you to be able to get over that. Like, I would never be able to move forward in my relationship and build a future with someone when I know they have the ability to do one of the worst things imaginable you can in a relationship. So if you can leave, I would do that. And if that's something you are willing to do, but if you truly feel like it was just due to intoxication, whatever, then yeah, of course stay. But you know Alpha's advice. Okay, second, when do I know if I'm ready for a relationship? Baby. There's never really, I think the sign that you're ready for a relationship is truly like, you can't imagine not being in a relationship with this person. Danny and I talked for 7 months. She made me prove that I would be a good girlfriend. She put me through the trenches I had to do everything imaginable to prove to her I would be a good girlfriend and I deserve a chance. And now, 2.5 years later, we're still here. And I feel like for me, when I was in the talking stage and when Danny didn't want a relationship, I was like, I like need this relationship because I like you so much. So I feel like that was kind of like that was when I was like, okay, no, like I'm gonna need this. I'm gonna need to call this girl mine. Like I cannot imagine not. And every day that I wasn't calling her mine, I was like, it was just hard because when you are like so just like attracted to somebody and just want to be with them all the time, you can't imagine not being with them. So if it's even like a question like, oh, if I'm ready, like you will know. But until you're ready, again, really work on loving yourself, because I fully believe you cannot love somebody else if you don't love yourself. You're going to be taking those issues with you into the relationship, and you could be sabotaging something that would have been so beautiful if you would have been healed enough to go through it. And I kind of think all my situationships, although at the time I was like, what am I doing wrong? I like everybody and they don't like me back. They were straight. Girl, bye. But that forced me to do the self-work. Like, you know what? Like, if I'm going to have all this time with myself, might as well make it worthwhile. I was journaling. I was in therapy. I was taking walks every single day, and I still do. I really fixated on the media I was consuming, because so much media literally makes me depressed. Like, I think back to when I was in high school when I was so depressed. Girl, you're watching 13 Reasons Why. Do the math. Hello? And it was in that moment when like I truly realized like the media, the music, everything that like I intake on a daily basis is going to impact me. It's almost like food. If you are constantly fueling yourself with, I don't know, Cheetos, like I was once doing when I was depressed and couldn't get out of bed, all I would eat is Cheetos, I felt like shit. It made me feel so bad. But then once I still eat pretty bad, but even better than that, like now I feel so much better. And it's the same with like the music you listen to. I would listen to sad songs and I'd be crying in the car and I'd be like, why am I so miserable? Girl, turn off Sparks by Coldplay. Turn off Sparks by Coldplay. What are you doing? Like, why are we listening to that? Why are we listening to like The Night We Met? Hello? Like, girl. And when I was like watching like gory movies and TV shows, like it was like, girl, what are you doing? So once I really took a step back, now I just watch like the really cheesy, like cringy shows, but I love it. And I'm so much happier because what I'm taking in is just so much more positive and productive for my everyday life. And I don't do good with any of that stuff. Had to remove it, learned that about myself. And I also learned to be comfortable being alone. I loved being alone. It was so much fun because all my energy went to myself. But then it also helped because when I was ready for a relationship and when I was like, you know what, like I would really love if I could share this beautiful trench life with someone else. And it made me so ready to be in a relationship. And I think that's also why it's so long lasting. And I know like early on from my past situationships and the people I've liked and didn't like me back, I was able to learn so much about myself, and I was able to learn what I do like, what I don't like, what I will not put up with, and everything along those lines. So I was able to easily identify it with Danny and kind of make a mental note. Danny's perfect. But even in like previous where I was like, this will never work because I don't like that this person does this, or this person is very avoidant. I cannot talk to them for days if we have a disagreement. I'm not okay with that. Like, I can't do that. Like, I need to be talking to you. Even if we're not the happiest with each other, I still need that communication. Because if you're my person, we're not just going to be able to shut off our relationship and convenience to your feelings. We need to work on them. We are a unit. And it's not one versus the other. Unless you're like the other girl and you got cheated on. Which in that case, good luck, Charlie. But in this case, being with yourself, really work on yourself, and then you will know, okay, I am content being with myself. I am comfortable. I know what I want. And then you can enter in a new relationship and know this is for me. This is what I want. She is everything I've ever wanted and more. I really love this about her. This we could work on. And it really just sets you up for a really successful relationship, because so many relationships, or at least from what I've seen, have completely failed because the person was not ready, or one person wasn't ready to commit. One person didn't know like about themselves enough to be able to be there for someone else. Because when you already have enough issues going on in your life, bringing someone into that chaos while they are also living their own life, that's not very inviting. And of course, things are going to come up. I mean, recently, Danny has been put through the ringer and considering like things that come up in my life. But because we've been together and now we just know how to be there for each other. And she knows what I need from her in those moments. And it's just very, very, it just makes a relationship so much more healthy when you both love each other. And also put an emphasis when you're in a relationship, put an emphasis on being your individual person, choosing each other, loving each other every single day. Genuinely, that has made all the difference in my relationship. Danny being her own person and me being my own, and we love each other for that. She doesn't understand my addiction to Heyday or Fortnite or like going through those cycles. She doesn't understand how I can hyperfixate on one thing, but she doesn't have to understand it. All she does is support it. And that's what I appreciate. We are both our own. She doesn't criticize me for anything I do. If she thinks like, you know what, Teaghan, you could be doing something better with your time than playing Fortnite, she will never say that to me because she knows, you know what, this is something she likes. And although I don't understand it, that is okay. Danny is very artistic. Some of the clothes she puts on, I'm like, you're stepping out of the house in that? Even though she somehow pulls it off, she genuinely pulls off everything she puts on, which makes me so upset because if I were to put it on, I would look like a Cabbage Patch doll stepping out into the street. So I take that back. Danny has the best style in the entire world and she's the best. I may not understand some of her style choices, some of the nail art she does, but it's like, you know what? She likes it and it makes her feel the most confident. And for that, I love it. For that, I love it so much. Because if you're the person, which I had to work on this because I am such a control freak, between Danny and I, like, I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like I'm doing a majority of the work on our social media. It's getting really hard for me. And then I had to take a step back and realize she does so much work behind the scenes that I don't see. And like, she's not gonna, like, I don't let her take over editing. And I never will. So it's like, you know what? Like, I had to realize I'm good at this stuff. I like doing this. And this is what I'm going to do. She now has our Instagram because that is where her creativity lies. That is what motivates her. So really like just work on truly understanding each other and what you like. Danny and I had to do so much like work in that realm because so many times like you feel like because you're in a relationship with someone, you have to be like completely like locked in like together. And it's like, no, like you can still be yourself and still like love someone. I wouldn't love Danny the way I do if she tried to blend into my life perfectly. That's not how it works. So you're not supposed to like, of course, like you're supposed to like, you know, like mesh well together. You're supposed to like, I don't know, collaborate together. Hi, TikTok. At the end of the day, you're supposed to balance each other out, and you're supposed to like add things to each other's lives that you can't have on your own. Danny carries so much confidence and is so unique and is so eccentric. Baby, I'm not. And it's like, that adds so much to my life. I am so outgoing, almost to a fault. I am so loud. Danny isn't like that. And that adds another like plus onto her life. So I don't know. I totally veered off track. But if you're ready for a relationship, you will know and you'll feel it. And if there's even that like question like, oh, am I ready like for a relationship? For me, I couldn't imagine not being well with Danny. So that was very easy for me to identify that I am ready for this woman. And boy, has it been a trip. And boy, has it been a trip. And also you learn so much about yourself when you are in a relationship. I learned that I have so many issues. I learned that my OCD is actually really bad. I learned that I have a hard time letting go of control. I was used to having the wheel the whole time, and now I have to share it with someone, and I'm like, Danny, like we're getting in like a little like cat fight about it, because it's like, give me this, like we are in a relationship together. You can't just be the one topping it all. So that was a big adjustment. So there's some things that you can't really identify when you are alone. And then until you get a relationship, you need to know like, okay, I am safe to like explore this new side of myself and how I operate. And are we going to be able to like work through these things in a productive, positive manner without turning against each other and holding resentment? Because for a while, Danny and I, our communication styles are completely different. She needs some time away from me when I want to fix things immediately. And we really had to work on a compromise. But if there was another one of me, a control freak, baby, it wouldn't work. So really look at that aspect too. Like, am I able to like grow with this person? Can I see myself being able to like have the difficult conversations? And Danny and I had so many before we even started dating. We had so many difficult conversations because for her, she has been in long-term previous relationships before me. Oh, can you believe it? Like, she didn't wait for me the way I waited for her. Yeah, I was a virgin before I met Danny. Whatever. I don't want to talk about that. That's a trigger. But she was in long-term relationships, and she took a lot of negative things away from those relationships because they were toxic. They weren't good for her. And common denominator, they were with a man. So there was a lot of things she had to unlearn, and she had to make sure that I had the capacity to let her basically work on those things being with me. So there was like compromise to both. Like we both had to like be able to work on those things and still choose each other at the end of the day. And that's exactly what we did. But you like, if you're like not sure if you're ready for a relationship, if you really like this person, keep building towards that end goal. It doesn't have to be, oh, we have to be in a relationship right now. I mean, for me, I wanted to right off the bat. I wanted to a month in, but Danny was like, absolutely not. So I was like, okay, daddy, fine, I'll wait 7 months. But it doesn't have to be in that moment. You have to be ready for a relationship. You can work on it together. That's what Danny and I did, and it worked out really well. And I believe you should truly know the person and know what you're getting into before you just jump into it and figure it out as you're dating. That just adds a lot of pressure. And dating is like, or at least for me, when I call someone my girlfriend, we're locked in. I'm not going to have a girlfriend for 2 weeks. Actually, I'm not even going to say that, because if Danny and I ever break up and I have a girlfriend for like a week, like I don't want to hear any backlash. In fact, it was definitely her fault. It was definitely her fault and not mine. Kidding. But really take your time and learn, like, am I ready for this? Like, can I be like in a relationship with someone and it be incredible? Or am I still learning about myself? And because especially at this age, we are expected to have it all figured out. Baby, who is you? I am a TikTok lesbian at 22. If I would have like literally sat my high school self down after I graduated and been like, hey girl, you're going to be a TikTok lesbian, I would be like a micro TikTok lesbian. We ain't there yet. We're going to get there though. I would have been like, are you so serious? I'd be like, okay, like what did we graduate with? Your associates. Would be like, oh, like where from? Kalamazoo Valley Community College. Hello. Oh, like what are we doing now? Oh, like you're like a micro TikTok lesbian. I'd be like, okay, so like moving past that, we're expected to have it all figured out, and that's just not the case. In your 20s are for yourself. You should be really, really getting to know yourself, getting comfortable with yourself and who you want to be, and identifying who you want to be. And that is such a fun process. Like it's so, the people like paint it to be like so stressful and like something that like you need to have it all figured out right now. Baby, you don't. You don't, and I promise, like, it is going to be okay. And finding yourself and finding what you like and aligning with what you like and catering your life to like the things you enjoy and what promotes happiness in your life. That is so much fun. That has been like one of the greatest joys, has been finding myself, because in high school, I wasn't really given the time to do that. I mean, I was already like faced with a lot of, I don't know, like internalized homophobia. So that was already a trip. I didn't have that time to truly find myself, because at that moment I was still trying to convince myself I was straight. And also you're in school for 7 glorious hours a day. And then I would have practice after school. And then after school I would do homework. And then I would take a shower. After I would get out of the shower, I would just go to bed. Like there was never that space for me to find myself. And then they literally just shove you out of the high school and they're like, see ya, go figure it out, go pick your major. I didn't even know what the majors meant. Like, what is a law degree? What do you do? Like, it's like, yeah, lawyer. But like, what do you do? Like, there was never like any exploration options at my high school. They literally just threw you in. They said, good luck. You might not know how to do taxes and you might not know the courses that college entails, but hey, you know the history on the Revolutionary War, which is important. But I mean, did it set me up for my future? No. So you're expected to have it all figured out. Baby, you don't have to. And you should be finding yourself, and it should be such a fun process. You should be finding your goals. And especially in this society, goals are so important. My overall dream is to become an actress. It is to become an actress. I know that is what I was put here to do. Or maybe not. Maybe I was meant to be a TikTok lesbian, so I don't know. Or maybe I wasn't meant to be either of those, and maybe I haven't discovered it yet. Either way, I love creating. I love expressing myself. And whatever you like to do, really listen to it. Really listen to what your heart is telling you. Explore all your options. I would take career courses just for fun in college to really identify what I would like to do. I got this journal. It's called Listography, where it would just like literally just give you a bunch of list templates, and you would like make lists. And that was really fun for me. And it really like helped me kind of understand myself, because I was able to look at the bigger picture, like flipping through all the pages, being like, okay, like this is what I want to do, or this is where I want to live. And it like, I don't know, it just really helped me. And it made me excited for the future. And it made me excited for what it could hold for me, because my grades weren't good. So I overall thought that I was just destined for a bummy life, because, oh, I'm not good at school. I'm not going to be able to go to a good college. I'm not going to be able to pursue a degree that is like, I'm not gonna be able to be a doctor or a lawyer or a biochemist, which, girl, good night. You were never destined for that life. Really, really take that time and enjoy it, because when you're in a relationship, the work that you did by yourself is really going to come into fruition. And it's either gonna eat your ass or it's going to benefit you. And lucky for Danny and I, we have both done the reflection necessary. So when we were ready to be in a relationship, it was really easy for us both to say yes. Even though I never had to say yes, I asked her to be my girlfriend. So, well, I kind of veered off the topic of that. But that's how you should know if you're ready for a relationship, or at least from my opinion. Okay, another question is tips on the first time. Honestly, just really communicate. Really, really communicate beforehand, so you can understand what you each like, what you dislike, what you're comfortable with, what you're not. And if it is like your very, very first time, it is going to be awkward. It's gonna be weird. I can tell you that much. It is going to be weird, and that's okay. It's like a steady like build to when you guys are like both completely comfortable with each other. And also that like remembering, like, looking back on that time, it's like truly like so much fun because it's all like so new. And if it's like your first time with a specific person and you've already like done it previously, just like getting to know that specific person, what they like, because truly every single person is different. And I see intimacy as like such a huge, I take it like low key as like a compliment, because it's like you trust me enough to be the most vulnerable version of yourself with me, with little old me. Even like being with Danny for 2.5 years, like it still is like so special, and it always should be. And I'm trying to like talk about this in a respectful way to like her and I's privacy, but like right off the bat, like I think the best thing we did was communicate and don't put any expectations on it. Don't put any pressure, obviously, but expectations like do not think it's going to go one way, because it will likely go another. And that's okay. Like, don't have a lot of, just don't think it's going to be everything and then some, because I can guarantee you it won't. Like, if it's your very first time, it's not going to be like how a lot of people describe it to be, like pure magic and intensity and passion. Like, it is kind of weird, and it's like, what are we doing? But you eventually, with that person, as you get more comfortable and confident within yourself being in that form, it does get a lot easier. The next question is, how did I overcome my internalized homophobia? As I liked girls, I slowly realized that it's not much different from the way that straight people like each other, or a heterosexual relationship, that like love is just love in all of its forms. It's beautiful. No matter if it's between a man and a man, a woman and a man, a woman and a woman, literally no matter who it's between, it is beautiful. And especially with my love for Danny, I've never loved someone the way I love Danny. And knowing firsthand how pure our love is and how connected we are and how intertwined we are, genuinely, like, that has shown me like there is nothing to be ashamed of, because we were all made to be this way. We were all made to like women, if you are queer, or like men, and that's okay, and that's beautiful in itself. We're all not going to be the same. And once I realized that it's truly just love in another font, is when I truly was like, you know what, like, it's beautiful, and how privileged am I to be able to love someone to this capacity, and they love me back, and we choose each other every single day. That was really deep, but that was slowly, like, as I like liked women, and the more that I was attracted to, I realized like how pure my intentions are, and how love is truly love, no matter what form it is. And that was kind of how I got over it. And just kind of immersing myself within the queer community, whether it's on TikTok, especially though, like social media, like seeing people older than me and more mature than me being in queer relationships really helped me, because it was like, you know what, if they can do it, why can't I? And I feel like that's like why I want to be the way I am on social media. I always want to be authentic. And I feel like right now, especially, there's a lack of authenticity online, because people are so afraid to make a mistake and get canceled. But I'm trying to always be like the most real version of myself. I'm always trying to be vulnerable and, again, real, because it really, like, social media truly lacks that. And I miss when like people were so like unapologetically themselves, and like they weren't so scared of what other people had to say about it. When I was like still in the closet, I really looked up to creators like Soph Mosca. I loved her, and I saw a lot of myself in her. And I always, whenever I would be like struggling with my sexuality, I would go to her page and look at her videos, and it would be like, you know what, like, no, like, this is what it's going to look like for me too. And I'm going to find this love one day. And the way she portrays herself online is also very real. She's very honest, very vulnerable. And I can appreciate that so much, because it's really hard to find creators who do that. I can remember like she was probably, and just like any like queer actresses or queer celebrities or influencers, just like the rise of that. I feel like through COVID, people really were forced to find themselves and realize like, oh, I might be like queer. And like seeing those people really come to terms with it and learn to love themselves really helped me. So even like latch onto like a specific creator, or like find someone you really resonate with, and I promise it will be a lot easier, because seeing other people live out your dreams, it's like being with a woman was my dream. It was like, okay, like I can do this too. And although it's going to be hard, it's nothing that I can't handle because I was made to be gay. Next and last question. Strap tour. Kidding. But that's literally what it said. What are y'all's niches and differences? I feel like I really dived into it, like in like different comments, but Danny and I, our attachment style is very different, which has been like probably the hardest thing we've had to like learn, because I am very, I'm an insecure attachment. She's very secure avoidant. And now I've grown to be secure a little bit. I'm very secure in our relationship. Like I no longer fear like she's going to cheat on me, or like when she's going out, like I'm no longer scared of like what will happen. Like, of course I worry about her. It's never like I'm worrying about our relationship and how it's going to end the next morning, and if she did something stupid like it was. Like overall, like cheating now has become like such like an increased theme in our society. And I'm so like, I think it is social media and like having easy access to like so many people at once, even when you're in a committed relationship. So like that kind of just sparked a lot of like insecurity and like fear within me, because seeing the people that got cheated on and how like heartbroken they were, and how the other person is like almost seemingly living their best life, and like they got over it really quick because they cheated, so they made that choice. That made me like very insecure. But like now, like as Danny, like I fully believe like you need to put yourself in the scenarios that like make you anxious and make you like almost like anxiety provoked, like so you can like slowly learn, you know what, this person isn't going to do. Like you need to give that person the space to either make that mistake or prove themselves. And Danny, every single time, has proven herself. There have been people that have tried to kiss her. There are people that like will try to buy her drinks. Like I know Danny is a gorgeous, gorgeous woman. She is going to attract people. That's just how it works. And rather than being scared and being like, you know what, like I really want you to stay in. We're young, and going out is where people like can connect, and like where you can go out with friends, and it's like just like a fun environment. And I don't want to like keep her from that. And for a long time I wanted to, and I wanted her to just stay in with me. And although that is so much fun, I was so tired of like being that person that was holding her back. And I don't want to be that person in a relationship. So after like a lot of work and therapy and just like self-reflection, giving her those moments to like truly go out and like do her thing, keep me posted whenever she can. The next morning we always talk, and like I hear about her night, and every single time it's okay. Every single time, even if something does happen, she handles it in the best way possible. And it even makes me feel more secure, because it's like, you know what? My girlfriend is out right now, and if something were to happen, she is going to protect our relationship because she loves our relationship and nurtures it just as much as I do. Danny and I, like I've had to like learn to give her like the space and like to make like those like choices to to further my confidence in our relationship. And overall it's just made us so much closer, and holding her back was never improving our relationship. It was never keeping it safe. It was just keeping it like sometimes like safe, and like you can't always just stay in the safe zone. I say that as I'm sitting in my freaking childhood bedroom in my parents' house at 22. But I'm even now realizing that like I have been so anxious to move for so long, and now I'm more anxious about like what's going to happen if I stay. Giving your partner the space to like be themselves and prove to you, like that is so important, and it's something we've learned. And now like I feel like I'm more edging the secure than the insecure attachment. And I also just love to be with her 24/7. And she's someone that like needs her own space, not seeing it as like, oh, she hates me. She doesn't. She's with you, you stupid dumbass. Like understanding like she needs her own space so she can like, when like we have our time together, she's spending it in a way that is like quality, and she's not like trying to catch up on like her own personal time while also being with me. Cause that's never fun. Like then it's just us like laying down watching TV and like doing like lazy stuff. But like when she has the time and space, rejuvenate herself and re-energize, it's always so much fun because she wants to be out doing things with me. She wants to be with me, and she always wants to be with me, even if we are just bed rotting. But sometimes you just need your own space, and having that like in our relationship, even like the forced time I've had to like be with myself and not her, it always is so good for us because you need that time with yourself, because at the end of the day, you are stuck with yourself for the rest of your life. So you still, like, although you're in a relationship, you still need to nurture yourself and do the things that like spark joy, or else you're going to hold resentment towards your partner because it's like, I'm never able to be alone. I'm never able to have that time to myself. And then if something were to happen in your relationship, you're going to be so codependent that you are going to be like the first girl who gets in a relationship and then cheats on them, like the girl in the beginning of this podcast. So that has been like something we've had to learn. And baby, it was a trip, but at the end of the day, it has like made our relationship that much more healthy, and that's what's important. On that note, thank you for listening. I am excited that this now is going to be on YouTube because baby, now our YouTube channel will not be, submerged in dust. So, and of course, this is also going to be on Spotify and all the links. If you want to send a submission in, please do, and send it into any of the links in my bio. It'll be right there under the submission form. And it really, really helps. And I'm so excited. I love doing these podcasts and I love making them. And I literally love doing this and posting it every single Sunday. So genuinely, every Sunday, catch me live doing this podcast. I love you guys so much. And thanks again for listening. I just noted that that's going to sound disgusting for the listeners, but sorry.